Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I want to show you how to draft a Basque corset with petal cups in a very beginner friendly way. Here are the measurements you need, so let's jump right in. I'll start by folding my paper in half because I'll draft the frame for the front and the back together, and then now adapt it accordingly. So measure your shoulder to bust point, your shoulder to under bust, shoulder to waist, and also waist to hip, and this will serve as the hemline. So on the top edge of the paper, impute your shoulder measurement divided by 2. So mine is 15, and so I'm going to mark 7.5 here. So the next thing to do now is to measure out your neck width. I'm using a 3x3 neck width and depth here, so because I'm not going to need this neckline at all. So I measure 3 inches inward and then 3 inches down and connect like so. At the shoulder point, mark 1 inch down, and from the 1 inch connect to the neck width. This is going to be your shoulder slant or the shoulder slope. So from the shoulder point, mark your armhole depth down, rule a line across, and label this the chest line. So now to shape the armhole, mark half of this line here, that is your armhole depth measurement, and go in by 0.5. So on the chest line, mark a quarter of your bust measurement, no allowance needed yet, and now shape the armhole from the shoulder slant to the ½ inch mark here, and then to the bust. Okay, so starting from the bust line, mark half of your bust point to bust point measurement from the bust line to the under bust line to the waist and then to the hem, and connect all the points with a straight line. So at the waistline, mark 0.5 inch on both sides of the dart leg. On the under bust, mark 0.75. so you have a 1 inch wide dart mark on the waist, and at the under bust you're going to have 1.5. So now from the bust line, mark 0.75 inch down, and with your curved ruler, connect from the 0.75 inch that you just marked down to the under bust shaping. Next, measure your shoulder slant and get the midpoint. So from that midpoint, take a line down to meet the bust line. Okay, so now the dart you have on the under bust line will be shared on this line, but I'm going to add 0.5 to the under bust dart, and this is to prevent any gaping around the neckline. You will not be sharing this dart equally. You're going to take more on the side that is closest to the armhole, and you take less on the side that is closest to the center front. To take 0.75 on this side and take 1.25 on the side that is closest to the armhole. So connect back to the 0.75 inch that was marked down. I connected to the bust line initially, so but then I used it wasn't looking right, so I used another color of marker to connect it to the 0.75 inch that I marked down. I hope you understand that. So now on the chest line, get the midpoint of the armhole depth line and the quarter of your bust that you marked earlier. For me, I have 1.5, so the midpoint of that will be 0.75. Then from that midpoint, mark 0.5 inch down and rule a line just towards the other side as shown. So connect from this start leg here to the half inch that you marked down. So now mark your desired neck depth, or just go down by 0.5 from the chest line. So from wherever you marked as your desired neck depth, mark 0.5 inch inward. Connect your corset cup as shown, and you can also increase the cup height if you want it to be higher. So let's say you want the cup height to be like maybe like 4 cm or maybe 8 cm. You can just increase on both sides of the dart leg and connect accordingly. Okay, so with your curved ruler, connect the other side of the corset cup from the 0.5 inch that you marked at the center front. Connect into the under bust line. And then on the other side, connect the cup from the 0.5 that you marked down at the midpoint of the armhole. So just blend smoothly as shown. To make sure that the cup of the corset is aligned when you are sewing, measure what you have on these lines. Increase the shorter one to match the length of the longer corset cup. After that, mark 1/4 of the bust measurement you're working with on the bust line. Then measure what you have between the dart, that is the dart at the chest line, and also impute that on this line and add your allowance. So transfer this measurement that you have now to this line here. Okay, and then mark 1/4 of the waist plus your dart and then seam allowance. Okay, so at the hem also mark 1/4 of your hip measurement plus the dart you have and then the seam allowance. So connect all of these points. So before I move on, I'm going to sharply trace this pattern out without the cups, of course, and this is so that I can use the pattern for the back. So if you want the basque of this corset to be longer, you can add paper to the hem and just increase it to your desired length, but I'll leave it this way for now for this tutorial. So to get the petal cup shape, mark 2 inches down at this edge of the cup and also on the other side of the cup and connect as shown. So note that I marked 0.5 inch on this side of the cup, and that's because I want the line to match up so that the cup looks proportional when it is sewn. So now cut out and slash through these lines. So you're going to have 4 pieces right now. Make sure to not mix them up. So tape the upper parts of the cup together so that you have one piece. And I labeled 1, 2, and 3. So for the back pattern, I just define the lines that has been traced already. Mark 1.5 of your bust point to bust point measurement at the waist. Also mark a 1-inch wide dart on your dart legs, and just the way you did when you were drafting the front pattern, and you can just rule up. You don't really need the dart length here, except you want to cut the dart, except you want to sew the dart. So remember that we lowered the armhole by 0.5 inch, so you need to do the same here to the neckline. So you can lower the neckline if you want. For me, I'm just going to leave it like this. Then let's move to creating the basque. So tape the corset pieces together, and you don't be bothered if they are not completely flat. Okay, so now mark 2 to 2.5 inches in at the hem. So you can either connect back to the waist, or from the waist you mark 2 cm down. Okay, and then you connect from the 2 cm to your basque. Okay, and if you want the basque to be longer, like I said earlier, add more paper and increase the hem of the garment. So that's basically how to create the basque. So at the back also, if you dropped down by 2 inches, sorry, on the front pattern, then you have to do the same thing at the back. This time you are taking a straight line. You are taking a straight line across to the other side of your pattern. So I'll cut out the back dart and tape it together because I don't really want to sew a dart. So you can have style lines on the front of the basque. You can have one running from the middle. You can have one here. You can just do this however you like. You can slash and join back with a 0.5 inch seam allowance so that you create boning channels, or you just use contrasting bias tape to create the style lines. Thank you for watching. Check out this video linked up here for a more advanced way to draft a corset using a knackly braid bodice. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.